What's going on, guys? It's TS Inc. and welcome to another Tutorials Tuesday. As corny as that fucking sounds, it's what the fuck it is. So today we are going to be doing some 3D motion track text, but we're actually not going to track it in 3D space. We're going to make it seem like it's in 3D space while only using 2D information. But we're also going to play around with the text and some track mats and basically make the text look like this kind of real cool, silvery, like clear screen, weird, fucking awesome looking shit. So let's go ahead and hop on into After Effects. And this is the clip that we're going to be doing it to, really just this first few seconds. So I'm going to cut it out right here. And trim comp to work area. Alright, so this is what we're working with. It's pretty much this area right here. Now if I were to 3D motion track this using camera tracker, I would have to mask out the gun and everything, and when I did that, I pretty much only took information from this back section. It wouldn't really get the areas that I need. Excuse me. So instead of doing that, we are just going to use a tracker built into CS5. This may work better with the 3D tracker in CS6, but I don't use that shit because it's too slow. So let's go ahead and click on this layer and come over to our tracker and select track motion. Alright, and we are also going to track the scale of it. You can track rotation if you wish, but I'm not going to. Alright, so let's find 2 points that we can track from. Let's take this right hand side and let's track this corner right here. But with the way these boxes are, it's going to try and track pretty much this line and what's on this side of this line and what's on this side of this line. And because, as you can see, this is a doorway, it's going to move. So what we need to do is, let's just slide this over a little bit this way, take this center point back, and slide this bigger box over this way a little more. And let's do the same thing with this corner. Just slide that just a little bit on this one. You don't need to do it as much. Oops. Alright, just to keep it out of this, background stuff. Alright, so for me, typically when I analyze forward at full speed, it fucks up. But let's just see what happens. Alright, so stop right there before it gets all catawampus on us. Alright, so let's see what we got. That is not the same spot that we tracked from, but that's because our spot went off the screen. Okay, this got really bad really quick. Alright, so let's go back until we find a good point. Alright, these are on still. Alright, so now let's just kinda adjust this a little bit. Alright, now let's just go frame by frame, making sure they're all sticking to where they need to stick. And then we'll go back and we will fix the other one. Fix that a little bit. Alright, see, it's going to get kind of stuck up in these boxes over here, so just come in and do it by hand. There you go. Alright, so as you can see, this is about to go off screen, and we still have a little bit more data that we need to track. So what we're going to do is, while clicking on this box, we're going to hold down Alt and drag it up to this corner up here. Alright, and what that's going to do is it's going to say, it's not going to change the transform position of this. It's going to say it's going to tell After Effects that we need to stop taking information from here and start taking it from here. So that way we have a little bit more room, I guess, to start tracking. So let's go frame by frame again. Line it back up. Where to go? No. And right there. Alright, so we're going to end up deleting pretty much everything after that point. So let's go ahead and start from back here and check this left-hand side one. Just kind of scrub through, looking good. This one seems to be tracked pretty alright, at least so far. Look at this all-star. What a pro. What a fucking pro. Alright, so let's go ahead, since both of these look good, let's make a new null object and come over to our tracker and hit edit target. Make sure you're selected on your null 1 and go ahead and hit apply and apply dimensions X and Y. Now what we're going to do, because this is the point we're going to cut it off, just go ahead and delete all these keyframes and highlight the rest of these and go to keyframe assistant and change it to easy ease or easy ease in. Either one works fine. I like easy ease in a little more. And as you can see, it's nice and perfectly tracked. It scales up how it needs to. So yeah, it looks pretty damn good on that null object. We're going to actually hide that. So now let's get the text on here. So let's go ahead and new text, type out text. Alright, let's go ahead and make this white and put it over here. Let's make this 3D. We can turn on motion blur if you want. And now we're going just to pick whip this to null 1. And that's what happens. As you can see, it's perfectly motion tracked using this corner as a reference point. So let's just go ahead and line it up with our door a little bit better. So let's pull that forward, rotate that, and rotate that way. Again, scale it down a little bit, move it up. And you can also use corner pin to kind of get the perspective right if it's not getting where you want it just by rotating. So keep that in mind while I just adjust this a little bit more. Wait. Alright, so that's looking pretty good. Let's scale this in a teensy bit more and out and move it up so that right as the scope comes up is when this would go off. So right there. Alright, so let's take a really quick RAM preview of this. It's only a few frames long. So yeah, that looks tracked in 3D space, even though it is only 2D data. So that's exactly what we're going for. Alright, the next thing that we're going to do is basically we will not be using this text layer. So you can kind of actually turn the motion blur off, doesn't matter. Let's go ahead and create a new adjustment layer and put this below the text and come here and not parent, I'm sorry, click that, go to your track matte and change your track matte to inverted matte text, I think. Let's go ahead and hit curves. Let's go ahead and test this out. Drop curves on your adjustment layer, and when you change this, yeah, you see what's happening. So pretty much what this is saying is only take data from basically, alright, let me see if I can explain this a little better. Turn this on, and let me change the transparency mode. On this layer, what these checkers, this is where there's no data, there's no information, it's completely transparent. So this white part is the only part that has any information on it, and this is called the alpha. So what you're doing is you are telling After Effects, only take data, only apply. Alright, let's see how I can word this less stupid. Pretty much only apply this layer where there's alpha on this layer, if that makes sense. So let's turn that back on. So yeah, so that's what we're looking at right now. If you want, you would probably, mask out this chain, but because I'm too lazy and I don't want to mask out this chain, I am just going to take the easy way out and just slide this back into Z space a little bit, so it'll look like it's actually on the other side of the door, so we won't have to, oh, wrong way, on this front side of the door, so we won't have to mask it out because we're lazy. Actually, I'm not going to do that at all because I don't want to. Okay, so let's keep playing with this adjustment layer a little bit more. So you can see we brought our curves up. You can also just bring that up a little more. I like to bring up the blues just a smidge. Alright, another thing we can do is come over here and type in displace. I like to use both turbulent displace and displacement map. Let's turn this down to 25 and 50. Let's go ahead and take the evolution and keyframe it right here. Oops, I'll do that. And go here, and let's just go quarter turn, just to add some intrigue. As you can see, it kind of like fucks everything up as it goes behind it. We can probably bump this up some more, bump both of them up some more, just kind of play around, maybe go into, I don't know, just play around with it. That looks pretty cool. We can also add displacement map, and let's go ahead and make this, the displacement layer, our nut 6 streak, and I think that's right, yeah, that's right. Change both of these to luminance. You don't have to, I just like it on luminance. And let's displace this by that much, and let's displace this a little bit upwards. Let's get rid of that chain. There we go. That looks kind of sick. And that's what we get with that. Just some really crazy looking effects and shit. Alright, so it's looking pretty good so far. And we can just take a look at just the text portion. No, we can't. Just kidding. Alright, so let's go ahead and add an optical flare to this just to spice it up a little bit more. So we're going to go to Layer, New, Solid, make a comp size, right click, go to Video Copilot, Optical Flares. Alright, so now we're going to hit Options, and let's go ahead and clear all, and let's just kind of start from scratch. Let's take a glow, turn it down quite a bit. Alright, we're also going to take a streak and turn it down. Alright. Just to add some 3D feel to it, let's go ahead and add a multi-iris and turn it down a bit. Now let's come over here and let's turn offset random on just a little bit, and that'll actually put these a little more in 3D space, as you can see. Just add some intrigue to the flare, and let's turn brightness down. Alright, let's come over to custom over here, and I'm going to add this color loop hoop. Turn that brightness up a little bit. And let's add one more thing. Let's go with a chroma spot. That brightness up. So yeah, that looks kind of dope. Let's actually come over here, change this to up the polygon size a little bit, polygon roundness and smoothness. There we go. All right, so we are going to. Let's see, what does this do? All right, keep that on 2D. No, wait a minute. We're going to change this to luminance, and we're going to change this to on transparent. But right now, we're just going to hide this. What we're going to do real quick is add another new solid. Let's make this one white. And we're just going to come over here, take our ellipse tool, make a quick little circle right behind the text. And where are we at? We're right here. And now let's pick whip this to our null. So as you can see, it sticks right with the text. And now we're going to hide that. So let's come back on here, open up our optical flares again, change the source layer to white solid 1. And then now we're going to unclick that, that, and that. Wait a minute. Something ain't right. Something is not correct. I think that I have to, I'm pretty sure, yep, I gotta pre-compose that. Alright, so let's go ahead and Command-Shift-C, move all attributes, and we're gonna copy this null into here. So that way it'll still, be tracked. Alright, so now, there we go, that's correct. Alright, so now we just need to basically play around with this. So let's play with this threshold. It's not really going to do anything. Let's go in here and let's change the brightness of all of these up. So bump that up. Bump that up. Let's also add this, just give it a little more streakish, make it a little brighter. See how that looks. Alright, pretty interesting. We gotta put this below our adjustment layer. Alright, we can bump this scale up, or the brightness up just a little bit. And now, as you can see, this is also tracked in what seems like 3D space, but it's gonna kind of chop off right there. So, to make up for that, I tried, making this composition bigger, so that way, it has more room for this to go off. And then, but when I come back in here, it just fucks everything up, and I have no idea why. See, it'll kind of jump over and not. I just don't know. It goes there for no reason. So it kind of fucks everything up, and I haven't figured out why. So I'm just gonna undo that. So basically, what I did to make up for that, excuse me, is you can just basically come in here, and I just kind of moved this up a tiny bit, so that way it's more at the top of the text. And let's come over and slide this. Oops. Slide that over. And you want to make sure that this layer isn't visible, then it'll just look dumb. And then basically what I'm going to do is, alright, let's see where it turns off. Alright, so it turns itself off right there. So let's go to this black solid, and we're going to keyframe, not the opacity, we're going to keyframe the brightness of this, and leave that there, and we're going to go just a few, and keyframe it all the way down, so it just kind of fades off. We can start this maybe right back here. Alright, so now we're just going to add a quick adjustment layer to add some color correction. Let's go with this. turn that down, and that down. And let's turn up these reds a tiny bit. And turn these blues, oops, down a little bit. Alright, so with that, let's go ahead and actually come over here and turn this back down because it's looking a little bright. Okay, so I'm liking this. I am, but let's just say hypothetically, actually, I'm gonna turn this down a little bit more. Let's go to 95. No, let's go to 90. Shouldn't be too much of a difference, but okay. So I'm liking this, but let's just say, you know, just for shits and giggles, that let me turn this. Turn this down. So just for shits and giggles, let's say I want some of my text, the white text, to be on there, to actually be visible. So we're just going to duplicate it. So we get text 2, make that visible, and let's just turn the opacity down, maybe 15 or 16, and it kind of washes it out a little more. But that's actually not really a bad thing, and it looks kind of cool. So yeah, let's take a quick RAM preview, see what everything looks like. Alright, everything actually looks motion tracked pretty well. The part I did exactly this in, just, you know, it didn't say text. It was Twixtered, so the fading out looked a lot smoother. So you can always, you know, go back and adjust that. So if you want to fade out a little bit longer, make it look a teeny bit better. But yeah, so it's just trial and error, constant trial and error. So yeah, you guys can play around with that, play around with your optical flares a bit too. Just kind of make them look a little better. So yeah, it's been TS Inc, and I hope you guys enjoyed this motion tracked text tutorial. Leave a comment, tell me what you thought, tell me what you want to see in my next episode, my next tutorial. Yeah, I'll see you guys later.